Hey guys, so I have to pack for Pet Quest, obviously, and a lot of people ask, what do you pack, especially first-time competitors, and then everybody makes fun of me for being a hoarder. So if you need something, this is what's in my box. We haven't done a competition since Intergroom, which didn't count because I only did one dog, two dogs, one dog. So I emptied out my box because also I'm getting low on stuff and I need to see what I need. So this is the bottom of my tack box. I got this from Walmart of all places, but it's really nice because the wheels come off. So when you're traveling, you can put it flat and zip tie it in and it's not going to roll everywhere. I have really crappy luck with tack boxes. My next one's going to be a Zuka, so I'm going to join the cool kids club. But for now, this is what I got. So I organized my stuff, kind of, so that this would be easier. But this is what goes in the bottom of my box. It's all my liquids, all the things that I don't necessarily need throughout the groom. Sorry, Lenny's barking. So I'm going to put this on the ground. I'm going to fill it from the table. So liquids, scissor spray, baby wipes, and these are actually pet wipes. They're Groom Genie, which is some off-brand that I got at the supermarket of all places. But I know Earth Bath makes pet wipes that are great. Cocker Spaniel, so they always pee on themselves, poop on themselves. Lenny's pooped on me. He always gets travel stress diarrhea and just general life anxiety because he's my dog and we have a lot in common. So these are great. And also if you do a terrier and you're chalking, to wipe your hands, give it to the judges. Like, these are safe for coats. They're not wet enough usually for me, so I usually spray my scissor spray on them too and use them, but it's great in an emergency. So those go in there. Hairsprays. These are my Artera ones. They're kind of empty. I'm going to try the iGroom this weekend, but I haven't gotten my order in yet. So these do not fit with the lids on in the bottom of my box, so I snap the lids off and on, and then I just put them in the side. They come right back on. Static guard. Jasmine. Oh. Yes, please do, Jasmine. Jasmine says she's going to bring protection in case anybody decides to poop while she's helping. Lenny doesn't poop on the table when he's drying or being bathed. It's always at the Sally break, and it's always atrocious. But the static guard, this is for you to put on your clothes to keep the hair off, or other uses. Yes, today is another day, but this is not the post that I was going to make, Steph, but I have to pack anyway, so I figured I'd get this out of the way. Static guard has many uses, but it's also nice. I have an apron from Lady Bird and other places, and the hair sticks to it, and I like to use the apron when it's hot because I don't like to feel like I'm suffocating. So the static guard keeps the hair off of that, or the hair off of your nice clothes for your wind photo, because you always want to be thinking about a wind photo. You can also spray it on your finish comb that you're going to hand to the judges because it won't build up on the comb. Thick and thicker. This is like a spray to give body. It's not a hairspray necessarily. The iGroom has the iStyle and they have a couple, and it's all just, this is kind of like a lightweight, just gonna give you a little oomph, especially in hocks and legs, things like that. These hairsprays are the Artero, the Stronghold, which is what I use to set my top knot, my spray up, and then the red is the Dry Hold, which you can use like thick and thicker, or to just take those flyaways back in. Another thing that's going to give you a little bit of body, Speed Dry Spray. This is great for, I spray it in my Cocker's hocks, my Poodle hocks, fluff it up. It just gives it a little oomph. It's a dry spray chalk, So it's not going to be real heavy, but it is white. So if you're doing it on a black dog, like my cockers are black, do it very lightly. And then comb it through. And when you comb it through, you're not going to rip through this way. You're going to go into the skin and you're going to pull out, because you're going up and down the leg, but you want to pull from the skin straight out towards you, because you want that maximum amount of volume. And that's how you should scissor your legs too. Don't comb up, because especially if you have a thin coat, like Tyrion has a thin coat, and I couldn't understand why I was messing his legs up all the time. And it's because I used to just comb up. So instead I comb in and out, in and out, in and out, all the way up. So it kind of looks like a flicky motion. I'm sure you've seen it on 1,000 grooming videos. Our Terra Fresh Oil. This is technically a cool lube, but it has a lot of oil in it, and this is the only cool lube disinfectant that I can use. I have asthma. This is the only cool, like Andis Cool Care, Oster Cool Care, I assume Wall has one. Those will give me an instant, like I can't breathe, something is sitting on my chest asthma attack. This doesn't bother me as much. It doesn't really bother me at all, actually. It is oily, and I use it, you know, again, if there's like a poop accident and it gets on my blade, I do that in white. And then I have those pet wipes that I can wipe the residue off with. But it is oily, so don't just, you know, spray and then clip, or spray and then comb if you have to get it clean. Flat irons. You can flat iron in the ring. I have a third one, but I use it on my hair because, you know, Lenny and I share. But I have a flat one, and then I have this new cool comb one, which is kind of like the brushes, the hot brushes. So I'm going to try this out. I might stick this one in my bathing bag though. I have to play around with it, but I just figured I'd bring it just in case. And this all goes in the bottom of my box. Flash. This stuff's amazing. It's like a little bit of mica. What about the H42? Oh, that I use to clean my blades with, Simone. I don't have the spray, so I have it in the jar. H42 is a clipper side and a rust protector, and I actually just dump my dirty blades in it and swirl it around, and then at the end of the day, or when I need them, I pull them back out and, like, you know, put them on my clipper, run it through the teeth, and then wipe them off. But I don't do that at the grooming competitions because I'm only using my blades on one dog. I have, well, two. I have Lenny and I have my Carrie. And that, you know, Tyrion or Capel, I'll use a two guard, but I usually do it on my 5-in-1 for those guys. So, but anyway, Flash is really nice to just like psh at the end and give your dog a little sparkle. It's got like mica in it, so it's really like all natural and it smells pretty good. Thanks, Keely. I am smart. Thanks. And then again, back to poopy ends. This is Esprit's Extreme Odor Eliminator, and it smells delightful. And that's really, I use it like if it stinks, they get a little spray back there. It covers up anal glands. It covers up vomit smell. I've used it in crates. It can go right on the dog. You can spray it in the room. It's great. It's really good stuff. I have the argan oil also from Esprit. This is lighter than what I normally use on my dogs, so I like this. It's really dry. Like Sundays, like especially at Atlanta. Atlanta is the driest place ever. It's like taking an airline flight and then trying to deal with your dog's coat. So this is nice because I'll just spray it in and I'll run it through with a soft paddle brush. So I'm not putting a slicker or a pin brush on my dog, but I'm spreading this oil through to just keep it hydrated. And that's really what's important. Especially, I don't like to use a conditioner necessarily when I'm competing, just because it weighs the coats down. And this all fits in the bottom of this box. I literally pulled everything out of there and I'm putting it all back in. Static spray, again, dry in convention centers. So dry. So dry. A little thing of breath spray. This is the Pet's Life Oral Care Spray. It's great for their teeth. But also, especially like older dogs, or like my poodles have terrible teeth. I have stuff for their water, they get brushed, and they're just, you know, they're not big bone chewers where like Lenny and Elliot are. So they just have poodle breath. It's really gross. So you don't want to smell that in the ring. The judges don't want to smell that in the ring. I have show snood for my cocker or my poodles because I don't want their ears dragging on the ground during the Sally break, or if I have to run them out after scissors down. These loops are from Pedigree, and they will fit those tables that don't have like the actual ring style. They'll fit the ones that have the slits in the arm, which I know I raised the arm so you can't see, but I have 2 of these, and this is my signature color. And I have 2 because I will lend them out, but I will hunt you down for it back. Because Keely doesn't always have this color for me. So all this stuff matches. This is like my fancy stuff. But then I also have my backup bag because I'm a psychotic person and I'm very neurotic. I have an emergency slip lead because I always lose my leash in my piles and piles of stuff. The breath spray's probably $6 or $7. I haven't bought it in a long time. It lasts forever for me. And I also carried it at my shop when I had my shop, so probably a lot of it's a little past the expiration date, but I'm just using it for the mintiness at this point. But Pet's Life, it's a good company. Pedigree carries the Rupert breath spray, which is nice. I have some of that in my house, actually, that I use on my dogs. But so this is my bag of extra loops. There's a Groomer's Helper in here, too, just in case. I don't really need it for my dogs, but a lot of, you can use it in the ring. You're allowed to, sparingly, within reason. Like, you don't want to bring a dog that's psychotic into the ring, but it's there. And then I have these fancy loops should I ever get into a Best in Show lineup or a group lineup. I'll whip one of these pretty ones out. This is my DMK one, which I'm very excited about. Good. Keely will have some breath spray. And yeah, this is my DMK loop, which is really pretty. And Milena will have some along with matching show leads at the show. This one is from Christine I can't say your last name, girlfriend. Herkinson, which I just brutally pronounced, but she made these for her Samoy. One year, her Samoy club to raise money. And then I have my Lisa Leedy one, which is nice because it has the little plastic at the end, so it doesn't hurt the dog's throat and the beads won't move. So really, like, this is just my bag of loops that I never get to use, but I'm going to keep forever. And then vet wrap. I am notorious for losing my vet wrap, so I stick it in a lot of places. But I like little pouches like this to keep everything organized. Finger guards. There goes that. I do a lot of side pressure on my scissors, which is terrible, so I always fling them out of my scissor. And I have these just in case I need to quickly replace it. My lovely organized basket fell, so now I'm going to have to lean down. These are more wet wipes. These are actually baby wipes that I found at Target, and they're 99.9% of water. So I figured I'd give those a shot too. It's not gonna, with a drop of fruit extract, it says. So we'll see if they're wet enough for me. I can't live without this thing, and I don't care if people don't like it, it's fine. But this is my Sprout. I have 2 of these, one for home and one for the road. And I keep all of my scissors in that spot on the table because it's heavy and it's not going to fall over. And then I put my combs in here, but also I keep a little thing of clip aid just in case. You never know when a blade's not going to work, and this is not a replacement for sharpening, and I think that it's basically just kosher salt, but it's nice to have if I have to just get through something really quick, it'll sharpen up your blade just enough. Just enough. And I have 2 packets of that. The other packet fell. There it is. Good, Keely. Good. Keep at it. So I put this in first in the bottom of my box because we're going to clean some of this stuff up. And then I put all my liquids around it because I can put things into the sprout, like my headlamp. It is dark in the ring. And it is dark in the bathing area for PetQuest. And yeah, you need this. You need this. And along with that, bring spare batteries. Because I've been in the ring and this is turned on in my grooming box and I've been screwed. Because I didn't have any batteries and it ran out. And I have all dark dogs. And it's nice for white dogs too. I'm a big fan of light. Right. So those 2 go in there. An extension cord. If you lose power in the ring, they'll fix it for you, but it can really throw off your whole game plan. And I used to not have a game plan, and now I do. And if my game plan gets thrown off, I lose track of what I'm doing and I start to panic. And that's the absolute worst thing you can do in the ring is panic. Panicking gets you nowhere. So this at least, and also sometimes it's inconvenient. You know, the tables are not always very close together and the power is shared, and you know, they link them. So there's only 3 plugs for 2 tables, and if you need to charge your 5-in-1 because you used it in the bathing room, and a flat iron and your regular clipper, you know, you're taking up all the plugs and the person next to you doesn't have any. So extension cord, this is a very long one. And it's just a 2-prong. I usually keep a surge protector too to plug in and use, but I needed it at work. I fried the one that worked. Oh yeah, no, Simone, that it has to be nonchalant. Like there's no point in getting upset over a spilled box. More vet wrap, so much vet wrap. Something you might not think about. Oh, there it goes. When you're done judging, and your dog's really bored. So I have a squeaker and I have a ball. And it just depends which dog I have on my table. And sometimes I let Lenny play with the ball because he likes to chew on them. But for the most part, I'm just kind of going like this so he'll stand still for judging. These 2 are very, very important. And the bottom of my box also, it has a little shelf in it. So this is in there. And these things go in there. So it's the ball and the squeaker. Quick stop, because you never know. I also keep a spare set of nail clippers in there because, again, you never know. And you might be just running late and you grab your dog and your essentials from the bathing room and then you've forgotten that. You have time in the ring before we start to, you know, do last minute stuff. And along with that, somewhere in my spilled thing, I keep a nail, I have it, it goes in the top part, that's why it's not here. But I do also bring a nail grinder with me to the ring. And I have spare grinder parts, because although this won't fit the nail grinder I bring with me, somebody in the ring might need it. Paul will make fun of me, but that's fine. And then finally, finishing stuff. This is Pet Silk. Pedigree carries it. This is a little one. I don't remember where I grabbed the little one from. It might be from there. They might only have big ones. But I put this on a boar bristle brush when I'm done my cocker. And I run it over his back and it makes him really shiny. Shinier than the flash would because he's got really coarse hair. And a lot of undercoat in that skirt. So this is all the bottom of my box stuff. Again, and all this does fit. This is my emergency kit. So I'm going to just throw this stuff down because I want to go over. And then obviously slicker brushes go in there. This is my chalk brush if I was doing a terrier, so I don't run this through anybody else. A blade brush. They come with like every wall clipper, and Andis makes some, and they're really, really great. Okay, so this is the emergency bag, and because we are mostly women, tampons. You never know. You, somebody else, like you have them. Eyeshadow makeup. This is. Oh, good. Oh, it is a sample. Okay. Yeah, I have a big one, and I just keep refilling my little ones. Thanks, Keely. This is just e.l.f. natural eyeshadow. It's just mica. It's not going to hurt anyone. This is great for Bichons. If they don't have great pigment on their eyes, you can just wipe a little over their eye, you know, once you've cleared that out, just to brighten up their eye a little bit. I use Q-tips to apply it. It's also, you can smudge someone if you get like a little bit of a, like Lenny has sometimes little spots where he's had a tick or a scratch, and it's just like a white streak. So it's, you know, not super attractive. So you can just dip right in there with your finger, put it on. Tissues, I'm always sneezing. Benadryl. Sally breaks outside, you get bit by something, or you start having an allergic reaction to somebody's perfume in the ring, or the dog starts having an allergic reaction. It's just nice to have it. Band-Aids. Lenny got a hold of this. There's teeth marks in there, but Band-Aids. Neosporin to go, because you're going to get sharp scissors. Things get cut. Aquaphor. If you have a bad callus, you know, it's so dry in there, your dog's nose is dry. Aquaphor is great for all that, for protecting things. These are my little black and gold powder samples that they were giving out once, and I still have it, but they're in little capsules, and I thought that's great. You know, because you never know. Hand sanitizer, again, poop. And then these two things that I cannot live without. Mellow Pet from Show Seasons. Any Show Season vendor carries it. And then Rescue Remedy. These two keep me calm, keep the dogs calm. They're completely safe to use. You can wipe the Mellow Pet on your wrists, so you're smelling it and the dog's smelling it while you're working on them. You can wipe it on your grooming arm so that the dog smells it. It's just an aromatherapy thing. I have Breathe essential oils for me in case I start having an attack and I don't have my puffer with me. Saline nasal spray. This is nice because you can flush an eye with it by squeezing. If you get a hair in your eye, if the dog is winking at you funny, and it's not going to hurt anybody, and it's not, a lot of the saline eye washes don't have a nozzle. So that's what's nice about this, because you don't have to touch the eye with it. You can just kind of do from the outside corner just to flush it out and give them some relief. Cysteine and Clear Eyes for me. Cysteine removes allergens from your eyes, and it's safe for contacts. It's made by Alcon, but it's lubricating, and the same thing with the Clear Eyes, redness relief, because again, it's dry, and sometimes I'm up at 5, and you know, it's 5 to 5 in the ring with dryers and heat and lights, and I don't care how good of contacts you have, they're just sometimes not great. And even just your regular eyes, it's hard when you're dehydrated and you're running around and you have anxiety and, you know, nerves, and there's dog hair and you're sweating, your eyes can get dried out. Zip ties. So many zip ties. If you don't have a butterfly clasp loop, you can put a zip tie through the slits in the bar and then put your loop on there. And then it won't get stuck, and you won't be loopless, and trying to get it out of those stupid things. I hate them. But this is a good solution. Also, if you have a very kennel and it loses a screw, or like I do, just take all the screws out and put zip ties in there, because then if you have to collapse them down, it's snip, 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 snip with your nail clippers and you're packed. And you don't have to worry about losing anything. And then I have Imodium in here. It's off-brand Imodium, but just in case, because diarrhea, good for you, good for the dog. I also have Second Skin, which, you know, obviously don't use on client dogs, blah, 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 blah. But I'll use it on my dog should something happen accidentally, you know, ears and stuff. You never know. So I just like to be prepared. And that's what's in my little emergency kit here. And Skinworks. I don't know if I said that already, but Skinworks is available at Pedigree, Frank Rowe, all those good places. It's made by Coat Handler, which is some Preco company, and it's just very soothing. And there are other brands that make similar things, but especially for poodles with light skin that might get a little rashy on their face, or, you know, other sensitive areas for dogs. It's allergy season. It's the middle of allergy season, and it's Ohio, so there's like a ton of fleas. Oh, and hand lotion, because again, dry. So dry in there. But that's great for putting on the dog any sensitive area. I did my friend Kat's poodle in Tacoma, and she's an apricot, and I did a longer blade than I normally would do on a face, knowing that apricots have a more sensitive skin, and she still got kind of like red. It was hot, it had been a long time, so just always be prepared for stuff like that. Another good thing, if you have a white poodle, you can get some Gold Bond powder and dab it on there, or just even regular baby powder. It'll just kind of soothe it. It just gives them like a little protection. So that's in the bottom of the box. And then I also do keep my chalk in there. I only have these chalk blocks because the only thing I'm chalking currently is my Wiggies. My poodle is blue and my Wiggies are basically silver. So I kind of fake it until I can find blue Wiggies, which is not very easy. So if anybody has any leads, hi, I'm in the market. I know Pina and I always talk about me coming down and shopping her wigs, but I haven't gotten to Florida yet, so. I'm in my garage, Chris, and this is behind me, my shelving unit. So this is a white, but yes, actually this is also where I film, you know, all of my underground videos. But yeah, no, it's a curtain behind me. That's why it looks like I'm in a tent. Because otherwise you'd be seeing all of my crap, which is just cleaning products and guitars. So that's the bottom of the box. Now the top of the box is where I use all of my grooming tools. So I'm going to go grab those. And we're actually going to start with my hand strip. So this is the top of the box. And it looks like this. It folds open and it's got shelves inside. And then a big spot in the bottom. So now I get to pack for my Cocker Spaniel. Again, I'm a big fan of pouches, and Andis gives out like the best bags ever. So for a Cocker Spaniel or a hand strip, it's always really important to make sure that you've got your stuff. So we've got parting knives, so that's what I use in my Cocker. Sally Stones, little broken ones that I love, and then the full one, so that Sally doesn't think that I'm just, you know, being a weirdo. My detailer parting knife from Jody Murphy, which I love. It's a fine and a coarse in one, but it's smaller, so you can really like get it in the head and stuff without it poking them in the face or the eye. Rakes, I've got my Artero mediums and fine. I think this one's a 12 and this one's a 16. My Oster rake, which is wider. This is 8 teeth. And this one's nice for doing like the side of the skirt when I'm done, and also the back at the bend of stifle on Lenny, because he has a lot of natural angulation, but he also has so much hair. The boar brush that I was discussing earlier. And I'm putting that all into this bag because then I don't have to carry it down for when I do poodles or when I do carries. I also got this really cool new thing from Lisa Hart this week. It's a little like shaper, and it's a really rough surface, so I'm going to try and use that to pull his longer hairs out. So I'm very excited about that one. And then my Andis rakes, because these things are the best. So I have the wide tooth and then the fine tooth, and these are great for mucking and then finishing. And if I was hand stripping, I have all of these lovely knives: Artero, Ashley Craig, Hochbrenner, my magnetic stripper, which is a magnetic carder or magnetic stripper. This is for pulling and cutting at the same time, so it's nice for transition areas or feet if you have to do the feet. And I do keep all that stuff in here anyway, just in case. And then finger cuts. These are great if you cut your finger with scissors or you need to protect yourself while hand stripping. And then I have my backup knives, because I have Franklin's and I have Jody Murphy's, and I drop things in the ring all the time. That's my Chris Christensen fine for ears. And then I have a little bit of chalk helper, because you do this in the bathing room, but sometimes you need a little extra once you get to the ring, and instead of bringing a whole big tub of cholesterol, I just squirted it into an eyeglass case, or a contacts case. So I also do this with my face moisturizer when I travel, because I like my face moisturizer and it doesn't come in a travel size. So I just scoop some into a clean contacts case. And then that's all my hand strip tools. And it goes right from the bottom of that box, of the top of the box. Now, when we get to the rest of the finishing stuff, and when I'm doing this, when I'm packing, I'm making a mental note of all the things that I need to remember to grab from work, because I still have 2 days of work before I go. So many combs, guys. So many. You want so many combs. I keep them all in my Itsumi case, which is great. These are the Andis 10-inch combs, and I use the good one in the ring. It's got good teeth. And then I use these two to set my poodle up afterwards, where I split his hair down to reband him. But also I use these in the ring while I'm working, especially with hairspray. This one had nail polish on it. I have to do nail polish on these two. They are my hairspray combs. You don't want to use hairspray combs on the rest of your other dog. It's so sticky, it's going to mess up your entire profile. Speaking of profile, it's very tempting to hand these combs to a judge because they're heavier and they're wider teeth. And all of my combs are tapered end, which means that if you look at the end of the teeth, they're smooth and rounded. Some teeth are cut off and square, and that's really, you're going to tear the hair and it's going to get caught. So for judging combs, I give them my Itsumis. I have my quarter comb, and then I also have this Schernbau comb. It's a aluminum flex comb, and that's from Pedigree. It's very fine. The finer the teeth, the less your profile is going to get pulled apart with them combing. A lot of people like to hand them like a really wide tooth comb and think that, oh, it's great, except that really wide tooth comb, like even this is a Itsumi Eco. I have it here just for comparison. These teeth are very large, and they're going to leave lines in my dog when they're done. So I want to hand the judge like a fine little tooth comb, and you just gotta make sure you don't have knots in your dog. You just have to. This is the other Schernbau comb. So you know, comb through with that and work the knots out with the wider tooth combs. So combs, bands, I keep wide and little together. All my scissors, I keep my straights or my thinners and chunkers in here, and then I keep my curves and my straights in here. This is a little messed up because I was taking stuff back and forth from work in here, but when I pack them up, that's what's going to be here. It's going to be curves and straights. And I do that so that I know that I have 2 of everything, because my first competition I went in the ring and my curves didn't work, and that was the only pair of curves I had, and that's why I'm a neurotic mess now. Pin brush, this is the Chris Christensen T brush or whatever. This is great for smoothing my cocker coat. I take the brush and my flat iron and I work it that way. A small slicker brush, which this is a Chris Christensen one too. It has hair in it because I used it. But this is great when you're done. Pick your dog's foot up and brush the bottom of the foot. There's going to be so much hair stuck to that foot from just the regular grooming that you don't want that to get caught up in between the toes, or, you know, the dog's feet sweat, so you don't want it to stick there, and then the judge, you know, pull at it and be like, oh, you had a knot, or it wasn't neat. It just doesn't look good, and you shouldn't have hair. It's part of cleaning off your table and preparing for judging. Chalk brush, which obviously I'm not doing a terrier right now, but this is like a soft chalk brush. This is, I use on my Kerry. One of them has like a light spot at her hock, and so does Kapow. So I'll do that black or chalk that I have. I'll rub this on there, and then I'll just pat it into that spot, just to give the illusion, well, to take away that illusion that there's a break there. If you have a party colored cocker, that's another good place to use like a little chalk here or there if you have to, if the pattern's in a bad spot. You just want to make anything that can help you, you just want to be able to do. And then obviously clipper, which I'll actually be using my KM10, but I'm bringing this because it's broken and I'm going to drop it off. My 5-in-1, this is my Artero one, which I love, the Spectra. This thing's awesome. Guard combs, and then backup guard combs. So I bring my 5-in-1 and my regular in my 1 guards and my 2s, because that's what I use on my dogs, and then my 0. I don't bring my A, I don't bring my E, I don't bring my C. I don't need them. I've never used them in the ring, ever. Maybe when I did rescue rodeo, maybe. And then the blades that I need, my 7, my 5, my 15, that's what I use on my dogs. Everything else is on the 5-in-1. And the 15, yes, is on the 5-in-1, but I drag it. So I like to do that with a real blade instead of the 5-in-1 blades, because the 5-in-1 blades are not true to size. I just think the real blade, as long as it's sharp and not dragging, like hair-wise or performance-wise, I think it gives a better finish. A spare 5-in-1 back up. Yes, I'm using my Spectra, but I am going to bring my Bravara. I'm going to put my Bravara in my bathing bag. What I'm going to put my Spectra in my bathing bag and my Bravara in here. I'm doing all of my sanitary stuff in the bathing room. So I want to make sure that I have the stuff that I need in my bathing bag for the bathing room. Clipper oil. You should be using oil on all your blades all the time, just a couple dots on all the contact points to keep it smooth and moving. Here's on that side. Here's my Andis blade brush. And this is great for everything, including cleaning out brushes. So that goes there, all that. I have to buy more, but soft, like little kid ponytails. These are great for dog ears for the Sally break if you've pulled your vet wrap out. And then also for after judging, so the hair is not in their mouth and things like that. For Tyrion, I pre-band his hair, obviously now, and I'll pull all the bands up and I'll put one of these around it, or some vet wrap. For cockers, when you take them out for the Sally break, you can part that hair, pull it to the side, put those in. It won't leave a big line like a regular band would. And then my nail grinder. This is my little portable and a snail grinder and its charging cord. But it's really nice. It's got the guard on it. It's very quiet. It's diamond. So I like that. Hemostats, because you never know if you're going to get a tick or your blade latch falls rather, and you have to pull it back up. I also usually keep a screwdriver in here, but that's at work, and it's one of those 6-in-1 screwdrivers. Backup battery for my Fab 5 that I'm not using, but I'm sending it off, so keeping both of those things together. And then some more finishing. This is the High Sheen spray, and this is nice. I'll spray this on Lenny's skirt, and then I'll take the boar brush through, because it's not as heavy as the Pet Silk or like Silken Spirits from Chris Christensen. This is like a lighter spray, but it still gives them that glossy look. And that's everything. That's everything that I keep in my grooming box for the ring. I'm gonna, and my paw mat. Obviously, I'm bringing my paw mat to the ring. I can't live without them now. They're different than a yoga mat. They're smooth. So especially when I'm doing cocker bevels, I can take my scissors and I can slide under his foot without picking his foot up, where a yoga mat is sticky to give you better grip, and therefore you can't really slide your scissors. You can, it's annoying. I find it very like trying to do that. So I like this for any dog that you have to bevel the feet on, or scissor the leg while the foot's down and kind of from underneath and up. So your Asian fusion legs, your cocker bevels, my carries, because although they don't have like a true bevel, you know, it's still, they're up on toe, Bichons, things like that. This paw mat's really great, and it wipes pretty well. You know, dog nails do scratch it. I know it's everybody's #1 complaint, but it's a scratch. You know, it doesn't really affect the product, and it's nice and thick, and it's very cushy. I have, you can't see them, but there's 4 more up there. I have this little one, which I like for the table. Then I have the big floor mat one, and I have 2 more in this color, but they're the bigger ones. So it just depends on what dog I'm doing. But this little one's my favorite. I try to keep it nice and neat, because this is the one that I use in the competition ring. So yeah, no, that's everything in my grooming box. I'm gonna start getting together my in the room box and my bathing bag, and I'll probably post them, especially the in the room box, because there's a lot of things in there that people wouldn't think about. So, all right, thanks for joining me.